The world thinks the richest man in our town lives in the sprawling mansion on the hill. The one with the marble lions and a fleet of foreign cars gleaming in the driveway. They're wrong. The richest man I've ever known lives in a small, unassuming bungalow by the old oak tree, drives a 10-year-old sedan, and his name is Arthur Vance. I met Mr. Vance when I was a young, ambitious journalist, hungry for a story on wealth and success. I expected to be interviewing the man on the hill, but a trusted source pointed me instead to this quiet, gentle-eyed man who spent his mornings tending his small garden. I was skeptical at first. His home was comfortable, but modest. His clothes were neat, but simple. There was nothing about him that screamed billionaire. But as I spent time with him, I realized I was in the presence of a different kind of wealth, a deeper, more profound richness that had nothing to do with spending and everything to do with living. One afternoon, sitting on his porch swing with a glass of iced tea, I finally asked him the question that had been burning in my mind. "Arthur," I said, "you could own anything. You could live anywhere. Why here? Why this?" He smiled, a slow, thoughtful expression that reached his eyes. "Because this," he said, gesturing to his quiet street, his modest home, his peaceful garden, "is not a cage. It's a foundation." He explained that his journey didn't start with a grand inheritance or a lucky break. It started with a simple glass jar his father gave him when he was 8 years old. Every week, he was given $1 for his allowance. His father told him to put a dime in the jar before he did anything else. It wasn't a suggestion, it was a rule. That dime was for the future. The remaining 90 cents were his to manage. He kept a small 5-cent notebook where he wrote down every single purchase, from a piece of candy to a comic book. That jar and that notebook, he told me, taught me the two most important lessons of my life. First, pay yourself before you pay anyone else. Second, know where your money is going. Those small, seemingly insignificant habits were the seeds from which his fortune grew. The dimes turned into dollars, the dollars into investments. He never stopped tracking his expenses, not because he was cheap, but because he was conscious. "Money," he explained, "is a tool, a powerful one. You can use it to build a life of freedom, or you can use it to build a very beautiful prison." Most people get their paycheck, spend what they want, and then try to save what's left over. I just reversed the equation. I decided how much I needed to save and invest to secure my future, and I simply learned to live, and live well, on what was left. The discipline came first, long before the money did. You see, money doesn't create discipline. Discipline creates money. He viewed extravagant purchases not with envy, but with a kind of analytical pity. He saw a flashy sports car not as a symbol of success, but as an anchor, a machine that demanded insurance, premium fuel, expensive maintenance, and constant worry. It was a purchase that owned its owner. His simple car, on the other hand, did its job reliably and left his mind free to focus on more important things. He believed true wealth wasn't about flaunting what you had, but about diligently protecting and growing it in the background. It was a quiet, internal process. The goal wasn't to look rich, it was to be free. And freedom was his ultimate currency. He valued his time above all else. His simple lifestyle meant he wasn't burdened by the endless upkeep that a complex, asset-heavy life demands. He had time to read for hours, to take long walks in the woods, to mentor young entrepreneurs, to simply sit on his porch and think. He told me, "People work 50 weeks a year in jobs they dislike to pay for things they don't need, all so they can afford a 2-week vacation to escape the life they've built." That seems like a tragedy to me. By living below my means, I've eliminated the need to escape. My daily life is not a burden. It is a quiet joy. He had built a life he didn't need a vacation from. As I left his home that day, the setting sun casting long shadows from the old oak tree, I understood. The man in the mansion on the hill owned a lot of things, but Arthur Vance owned his time, his peace of mind, and his life. He was not controlled by his assets, he was liberated by them. He had mastered his money, so it could never master him. His story taught me that the richest person in the room isn't the one who spends the most, but the one who needs the least. Wealth is not the noise of extravagance, it is the silence of contentment. And true freedom is found not in the ability to buy anything you want, but in the profound realization that you don't have to. Warren Buffett's story demonstrates that true wealth is not measured by luxury items or outward glamour, but by freedom and inner discipline. The ultimate lesson is to treat money as a tool to build a peaceful life, not a master to serve. Focus on substance over status, practice saving before spending, and understand that the richest person is not the one who has the most, but the one who needs the least to be happy. Starting today, review one expense that is purely for show and unnecessary. Then redirect that amount into your financial freedom fund. Ask yourself, do you want to look rich? Or do you want to be truly free?